talking about the Freedom Convoy that we saw the streets of Ottawa in front of Parliament Hill overtaken by the blockades and protesters and throughout Canada and different areas of Canada at the border. And the Freedom Convoy that happened in Ottawa, well, some call it the Truckers Convoy, started on Saturday, January 22nd, and it went on till Wednesday, February 23rd. And now there is that special committee that is interviewing all the people involved when it comes to the ministers, as well as the RCMP commissioner and the police chief, and to understand why the government decided to invoke the Emergencies Act, and if it was something that was reasonable to do so, as it's an act that's been never invoked in Canadian history since the onset of the law. And we saw measures that were given to banks as well as police that without any safeguards, without people's civil liberties when it comes to their Charter of Rights of Freedom. And this was something that Canadians saw take place. And now the question is, was it justifiable to do that? And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, as he invoked the Emergencies Act on February 14th, he said it was in an effort to end the blockades that had taken the streets of the capital as well as other areas of the Canadian border to the United States, such as in Ontario, in Alberta, and BC. And this was based on what was widely known as the COVID-19 restrictions, vaccine mandates, and what the Liberal government had put into law and in effect. Now, Trudeau had pointed out that there was an economic impact to the blockades at the border, and stats from Statistic Canada at those times, data shows that it didn't have the same impact as it was considered to do so. Also, the Emergencies Act, as it's come under scrutiny, what I want to do is I want to go back to when the announcement was made by Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland on following the money when the money was frozen in the third-party donation platforms that gave so much funding to the people who were protesting to be able to support what they saw in the protests. So take a look. This is Chrystia Freeland. She's the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Canada.
As of today, all crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use must register with FINTRAC, and they must report large and suspicious transactions to FINTRAC. This will help mitigate the risk that these platforms receive illicit funds, increase the quality and quantity of intelligence received by FINTRAC, and make more information available to support investigations by law enforcement into these illegal blockades. We are making these changes because we know that these platforms are being used to support illegal blockades and illegal activity, which is damaging the Canadian economy. The government will also bring forward legislation to provide these authorities to FINTRAC on a permanent basis. Second, the government is issuing an order with immediate effect under the Emergencies Act, authorizing Canadian financial institutions to temporarily cease providing financial services where the institution suspects that an account is being used to further the illegal blockades and occupations. This order covers both personal and corporate accounts. Third, we are directing Canadian financial institutions to review their relationships with anyone involved in the illegal blockades and report to the RCMP or CSIS. As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith. Federal government institutions will have a new broad authority to share relevant information with banks and other financial service providers to ensure that we can all work together to put a stop to the funding of these illegal blockades. This is about following the money. This is about stopping the financing of these illegal blockades. We are today serving notice. If your truck is being used in these illegal blockades, your corporate accounts will be frozen. The insurance on your vehicle will be suspended. Send your semi-trailers home. The Canadian economy needs them to be doing legitimate work, not to be illegally making us all poorer.